Hey friends, it's Laura here with Lalo Yoga and Wellness, and I have a fun practice for us today. It's all about twists. Twists are really great because they help promote some spinal mobility and flexibility, but additionally really kind of helps with your digestion. I know there's a lot of talk out there about gut health and how important that is, and so these twists will kind of help keep things moving along throughout your system, which is an important part of your gut health. Let's get started. Let's find some seated position that you feel comfortable with as we take a few moments to get a little bit grounded and present in our bodies and minds and our space. So just take a few minutes, kind of feeling how you're feeling, noticing if you're feeling a little tight or loose or whatever it is in your body today. Observing and understanding and paying attention to our bodies is something that we don't do a lot of throughout our daily lives. So we really want to pause and close out the rest of the world and take a few moments to focus on just how we're feeling. You can have your eyes open if that feels good, or let them gently close. Sometimes that's helpful in shutting out all that stuff that's going on around you. And we start to observe our thoughts, noticing our state of mind for today. Maybe we're feeling calm, or maybe we're feeling a little stressed or anxious, busy, lots on the to-do list. Just noticing where we're at with it. And now we let ourselves drop into our breath, feeling that gentle ebb and flow of your breath. And starting to bring our body and our mind along on that ebb and flow. Breathing in, sitting a little taller, feeling some energy come into the body. And then breathing out and allowing ourselves to let go of some of that stress, tension in our bodies. Slowing down that breath just a little bit. Then we start to add a little bit of movement into that breath work. Let's breathe in, take our arms out and up. Maybe we follow those fingers with our eyes. Exhale, let the chin drop, let those arms drop. Just gently waking up the body. On your next exhale, let's drop the left hand to the right knee, and that right hand comes behind you, giving you a little bit of support in the spine. Starting with a gentle twist, maybe sit a little taller as you breathe in. Twist just a little bit more as you breathe out. Inhale, reaching high to the center. Exhale, taking that twist over to the other side. Feeling that energy come in as you breathe in. And then softening into the movement as you breathe out. Inhale, reaching both hands high. Exhale, take the feet to one side, hands come down to the mat, knees come underneath the hips as we come into our first tabletop position. We want to start out with our hands directly underneath our shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide so you can see the mat between your fingers. Start to lengthen out through your spine, and your knees are directly underneath your hips. Inhale, take the gaze up, let the belly drop, hips come up. For cow pose. Exhale, scoop the hips around the spine, tuck the chin for cat pose. Inhale. Exhale. Returning to tabletop, take your next inhale and sweep the left hand up toward the ceiling. And as you exhale, thread that left hand behind the right, dropping your left shoulder and ear to the mat to come in to thread the needle.
Maybe reaching that right hand toward the top of the mat. Hips stay high. We let gravity help us with this twist. Inhale, bring the right hand underneath your shoulder, press away from the floor, sweeping the left hand high. Exhale, drop the hand back to the mat, coming into your tabletop. Let's take that to the other side, sweeping the right hand high. Exhale, threading it behind the left, drop your ear and shoulder to the mat. Inhale, placing the left hand under the left shoulder, press away from the floor. Let's sweep up through the right. Exhale, returning to our tabletop position. Let's walk the hands forward just a little bit here. Tuck the toes under and come into a plank position, warming up the core just a bit. Hold this plank position for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pressing up into our first down dog. Let the legs pedal out just a little bit. Your head is hanging. We're shifting as much of our body weight to the middle of the palm as we can. Let's come up on all 10 toes. Exhale, slowly let the heels drift toward the mat. Lengthen out through the spine, maybe bending the knees if that helps you get a little more flat through the spine. Taking your gaze to the top of the mat, start to walk the feet forward. Keeping a little bend here at the knees for a moment. Picking up the hands, reaching for your opposite elbows, let your head hang. Find that gentle movement for the spine. Rubbing that low belly onto your thighs. And then we find some stillness here in the center. Let the arms relax. Slowly lengthen out the legs. Maybe tenting these fingers on the front of the shins. Lifting that upper body. So the entire upper body is parallel to the floor. Take a deep breath. Really find that length along the spine. Exhale, reaching down toward the toes. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. Inhale. Roll all the way up, one vertebra at a time. A little bit of a squeeze in the glutes here, gently pressing the hips forward. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, to the back, and down. Palms are facing forward. Found that nice, strong mountain pose. Let's take a big, deep breath right here. Reach the hands high. Exhale, cactus your arms, finding a little bit of a back bend. Inhale and reach. Exhale, reach to the back with your right hand, to the front with your left, looking over the right fingertips, working our hips toward the front. Inhale, sweep that right hand down, pick up the left hand, face front. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale and reach. Left hand reaching back, find that standing twist here on the other side. Inhale, sweeping that left hand down and up, pick up the right. One more time, find that little cactus here at the arms. Inhale and reach. Exhale, let's bring our hands here to heart center. Take a look down here at your feet. We want to bring the feet till they are right underneath your hips. Inhale, sitting back, bending at the knees, coming into a chair pose. Take a quick look down, make sure you can still see your toes right here. Nice and long through the arms. Really reach, reach, reach. Take a deep breath. Exhale into a forward fold. We're going to plant our hands right here, step back 1 foot at a time, coming into our downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting your right leg high. Exhale, step that right foot between the hands. coming into a runner's lunge. We're going to let that left hand come flat to the floor, or maybe on the knuckles if that feels a little bit better. Sweep the right hand high to come into a revolved runner's lunge. Maybe your gaze goes here to the ceiling, maybe straight ahead, or maybe you're looking down to the floor. Dropping down onto the back knee. Inhale and lift. Revolve low lunge. Maybe the arms stay here, or you could bring them to the heart center and drop your left elbow to the right knee. Find that breath. Reset facing front. Drop the hands down to the floor, tuck the toes under, finding a plank, and then dropping down into table, cow and cat. Tuck the toes under, find your down dog. One breath in and out. Inhale, lifting your left leg high. Exhale, step between your hands. Flattening out that right hand, sweep up through the left for your revolved runner's lunge. And dropping the right knee down. We start to lift up, keeping that revolve. Maybe we start to bring those hands to heart center, and then drop the right elbow to the left knee. And turn it, square up that chest facing front. Drop the hands down to the mat. Tucking the toes under, come into your plank just for a moment. Shift the weight forward, drop the knees down for tabletop. Inhale, cow. Exhale to cat. Returning to table. Tuck the toes under, lifting up to your down dog. Full breath in and out. Slowly walking the feet toward the hands. Halfway lift, bringing those fingertips to the front of the shins. Exhale into your forward fold. And then we roll it up. One vertebra at a time. Big roll all the way up through those shoulders. Exhale. Pause here. Maybe taking those palms, letting them face forward. Let's take the left foot now and just point the toe, bring it toward the top of your mat, and draw a big circle coming out and around. Come back one more time. This time as you pass near the back, plant that foot and windmill the arms up to come into a warrior two. Front heel should align with your back arch. We want to bring our hips and our shoulders to the center, and then we reach those arms out, gazing over your right fingertips. Allow your knee to slightly drift toward that right pinky toe. Flipping your front palm, reach up, coming into a reverse warrior. Let your left hand just slide down your leg, or if you'd like, you can take a half bind, reaching behind your back toward your forward thigh. I'm going to bring that bicep close to the eye and feel your rib cage lifting up and away from your hip on that right side. Straightening out the front leg, coming into reverse triangle. Keeping that front leg straight, drop the right hand to the right shin or floor, coming into our triangle pose. Maybe the vision goes up, maybe straight ahead, or maybe down to the floor. Hand is resting on the shin or down all the way to that floor. We want to focus on rotating that left shoulder toward the ceiling and opening up the chest. Inhale, sweeping that left hand down. Pick up the back foot and just re-angle it to come to a 45. So we come into a warrior one. A little more bend in the front knee now. Take a deep breath as you exhale, dropping your left hand to the inside of this forward leg. Re-straighten it out to come into a revolved triangle. And be stacked up here from those fingertips all the way down to the floor and your other fingertips. Facing that forward leg, drop the hands down, step back into a plank position. One full breath in and out. And let's lift the hips high, returning to your downward facing dog. Slowly walk or hop if you prefer to bring those feet toward the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, rolling it up, one vertebra at a time. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. And just take a pause here in your mountain pose. Hands forward, squeezing at the hips. Let's repeat that sequence on the other side. Taking your right toes, point the toes toward the top of the mat. Draw that nice big circle around. Come back up to the top of the mat. This time plant the foot at the back. Windmill those arms open. Come into warrior two. Heel to arch. Hips and shoulders in the center. Flipping that palm, reverse warrior. Practice the bind on the other side. Try it on this side. Straightening out the front leg, reverse triangle. And on your next exhale, left hand drops to the shin or the floor to come into triangle, opening up through the right shoulder. Seeing if we can get that chest to shine toward the ceiling. Sweeping the right hand down, then up, bend the front knee, reposition that back foot to a 45, and find warrior one. Straightening out the front leg, drop your right hand to the inside of your left leg, sweeping up through the left hand, revolved triangle. And let's go ahead and drop those hands down, frame up your foot, and step back into your plank. Holding the plank for one full breath. And we drop the knees down to the mat as we exhale. Cross the ankles over. Roll up over those ankles to come to our seat. We're going to lean back now, finding a V shape with our body, really lifting the chest. Hands can be touching the legs or off of the legs. If you like, you can take the feet up off the floor and find a boat pose. I'm going to hold that boat, whichever position you've chosen, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing the hands here to heart center. We're going to drop the elbows side to side. Paddle that boat. Go at your own pace. Focus on that twist through the torso. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. pause here in the center. Sit up, lengthen out those legs. Just sit nice and tall through the spine. Let your chin drop toward the chest. Slowly lower yourself down to the floor. Maybe reposition yourself on the mat. And relax. Set your feet here flat on the floor. Taking our arms out wide like the letter T. Let's bend at the elbows so your palms are facing each other. And then just drop the thumbs toward the floor. So you're still in a gold post, but you're supported by the floor. Letting your knees drop to the right. You might want to scoot those hips just a little bit to the left. Keeping both shoulders flat on the floor. And then we'll bring the knees up to the center. Reset the spine and the hips. And then shift those hips over to the right. Drop the knees to the left. And find that twist on the other side. Bringing those knees back to the center. Reset the hips, reset the spine, and let's bring both knees into the chest. Hands on top of your knees. Take a little rock side to side to release your back. And then maybe drawing some big circles with your knees. This is always my favorite way to wind down a yoga practice. It just feels so good on my back. Let's take that circle around the other way. And then hug both knees in. Exhale and let the feet drop to the floor. Knees fall together, arms relax to the ground, palms up or down. Let yourself start to unwind. You can stay here in this restorative pose. You can extend the legs out for corpse or maybe even roll to your side or any other position you feel comfortable with. We start to relax through the entire body, starting at the top of the head, and softening all across the forehead, down behind the eyes, all those little crinkles around the eyes, smoothing out. We put a little space between our teeth and soften down into the throat. And wrap it around your neck, all the way down into your shoulders, right through to your fingertips. Slowing your breath. Letting go of any tension through the lower back into the hips. Right down each leg to the toes. Take a moment to just enjoy relaxing, feeling the support of the ground beneath you. Feel free to stay in this Shavasana for as long as you'd like. Take as much time as you're able to. And then when you feel ready, start to make your way up to a seated position. Letting your chin drop, letting your shoulders drop. Ear coming to one shoulder, chin sliding across the chest, ear to the other shoulder. And continue that slow movement side to side. We let that chin come to rest in the center, slowly opening the eyes if they're still closed. And taking one big deep breath out and up together. Exhale, bringing those hands to heart center. May you have peace in your thoughts, kindness in your words, and hope in your hearts. From my heart to yours. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed today's practice. If you did, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and send this on to anyone else that you think could use it during the day. You're always welcome to come visit me at layloyoga.com and get even more wellness tips to integrate into your life.